How we doing, everybody? Mark Clements here for the Heart of Missouri Regional Professional Development Center, joining my colleagues out today for a little bit of golf to talk about developing assessment-capable learners. Trust me, they go together. So it was about 2 years ago at the height of the pandemic, or I was looking for a way to social distance with my friends and still be able to get outside and do some things, that I decided to give golf another chance. Now, I hadn't really played golf a lot since college, and I'm really not very good at it. I even tried to quit talking during your backswing.
I told you to go with the 6-iron.
So as a part of Missouri's district continuous improvement process, we frequently reference Jan Chappuis's 7 strategies of assessment for learning. The first strategy of which is to provide students with a clear learning target. Now, in my case, is learning how to become a better golfer. I knew I want to become a better golfer, but we can't just take the standard on the surface, because just deciding today I'm going to become a better golfer is too big of a pill to swallow. It's essentially like telling students, learn math or write good. We have to break it down into smaller learning targets. So the first thing that I had to do was figure out, what do I want to get better at? One of the first times that I started playing again, I was really trying to keep track of my score and become a better golfer. I noticed playing with my colleague Chris Redmond, who's in the background. Wave, Chris. He can't hear me back there. And we noticed after my first round of golf that I was really atrociously bad at these sort of short chip shots. And I would just kind of chip it from one side of the green to the other side of the green and back again and back again. And it was extremely frustrating, and it was kind of like hurting my momentum and hurting my desire to get better. Now I just leave it really short every time. Having taken the entire game of golf and broken it into a series of learning targets, keeping track of number of putts, keeping track of concentrating more on club selection, concentrating more on approach or technique, the next step for me was to start finding exemplars that I can look at, find examples of strong work. Now the problem is, you can't just decide I'm going to go look at the best golfers in the world. If I decide I'm going to go watch the PGA Tour, I can't play like the guys in the PGA Tour. This is why it's important to have examples of not just great work, but also weak work and everywhere in the middle, because we want our students to be able to look at a series of exemplars and see their own work reflected in the process, so they can figure out, okay, this is where I am right now in the process, this is where I'm going, and that then gives them the power to close the gap. Once we do that, we find that our students can provide themselves feedback on their own learning. They perform, they look at the exemplar, the target that they're looking for, and they realize that they can close the gap themselves. They provide themselves feedback faster than we can ever hope to as teachers. I just followed up one of the best holes of my life by hitting one so far out of bounds, nobody even knows where it could have possibly landed. I'm going camping out here now. This is where I am. This is just your reminder that progress is not linear. It was over here somewhere. You think it's down there? How about right there?
Your attitude will affect the way you learn and play. Keep that in mind, folks.
Having provided students with exemplars, the next thing to do is to provide them regular descriptive feedback. The key is to be descriptive. If my buddies start telling me, do good, be better, That doesn't help me become better at golf. We also have to think about the quantity of feedback that we're providing. We don't want to provide students with feedback on every possible aspect of a huge giant standard. It's one of the reasons why it's important to have specific learning targets. If we as teachers just overwhelm students with constant feedback about a variety of different things, they can't get better at everything all at once and they don't know what to focus on.
Wait. Did you see a mark, Malik, on the inside part of your feet there? Yeah, there you go. And don't roll over top of your front ankle there.
And actually, before you even get started, your shoulders are way off tilted.
Yeah, okay.
I was trying to figure out a way to tilt your hips. There you go. A little bit. Maybe lean back a little bit.
Right there, and then,
There you go.
all right, now wait.
When I'm playing golf, I actually despise feedback. Part of the reason why is because it gets in my head. There's too many swing thoughts, and I'm trying to just focus on the things I know I need to get better at. That's something to remember when we're talking to students, though. We need to make sure that we're really putting that feedback in a manageable position in a timely fashion, and sometimes in the moment, just add stress to the learning process. So think about the timing and the specificity of your feedback.
Start focusing on it. You want to put this foot a little further, almost in line with that ball. And then focus on it. Now you go.
Okay, nice and easy. Keep your wrist straight and firm. Short back, follow through to the hole. A little too hard there, Mark. Here, try it again.
Having provided examples, provided clear learning targets, provided regular and descriptive feedback, next we want to start teaching students how to use these skills and how to self-assess their own learning. Now, to be clear, before they can do that, they have to understand the intended learning target. Where am I going? Then they have to be able to understand where it is that they are now, see themselves in that progression, use the feedback that's being provided to them to help understand, okay, this is what I need to do differently, and that allows them to help start closing that gap. That was just a really bad shot. My man back here didn't want to lay up. This is the part of the learning process where frustration starts to set in.
Did that ball go in the water? Come on, baby. Hit the ball.
Finally, we want to engage students in the reflection and the revision process. So instead of always giving them our feedback, have them compare their work to the exemplar that we started about. Have them describe the difference between their work and the exemplar work. This is far more powerful than acting on our feedback. Now they own the revision. They own the feedback process. They know what it is that they need to get better. With kindergarten students, maybe this looks like a kindergartner comparing his letters to the letters on the wall. With high school students, it's going to look a little bit more advanced than that. They're comparing their persuasive essay to a persuasive essay that they've read.
Look at that, baby.
This has been a lot of fun out here today, playing the golf with some colleagues, talk a little bit about developing assessment-capable learners. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you have, please do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We're at the Heart of Missouri Regional Professional Development Center, but we are not the Heart of Missouri. Teachers are the Heart of Missouri. You can follow us on Twitter at HOM-RPDC or find us on Facebook at HOM-RPDC. You can also find us on Instagram at instagram.com/HeartofMissouriRPDC. If you have any specific questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter at MarkClementsEDU or at ClementsMA@Missouri.edu. All the contact information is down below. Thank you again so much for watching. Keep up the great work.